Hello and welcome to another episode of RoyB the Middleman podcast with my lovely lady Aida Jasmine. And we are going to do episode 3 of season 2, all about, more in depth of conscious relationships. And this one's going to be initially about the difference between soulmates, twin flames, soul flames, and all those little things. So I'll introduce you to Aida. Hello and welcome to another episode. How are you?
Thank you. I'm doing good. Thank you. And I'm super excited to get stuck into the juiciness because of all of the conceptions and misconceptions about all of those labels that we give one another and give to another. So,
Yeah, definitely. Soulmate is a very, very misconstrued concept among many. But before we get into all that, we will go into the new intro.
music maestro.
Conjuring the middleman, wisdom from Marlin's man. RoyB the middleman, set yourself free.
Welcome after that. Still a great intro. So, hello everybody, and I always like to, not always, but I'm going to start this to be a bit of a habit in that I always like to thank all the listeners. So far, someone from India has started listening again, so I'm glad you're back. New Zealand has now joined the countries that are listening, so thank you for all the Kiwis. And and all the rest of the world of England and Australia and Denmark and Mexico and all of those that are tuning into this show. I'm truly grateful for you taking the time to listen what we have to say. So without further ado, we'll get into details and intricacies around twin flames, soulmates, and what all that entails. So let's start with soulmates. What's your concept? What's your beliefs around soulmates?
Soulmates. Oh my gosh. Like it is something that often we're calling in our soulmate, or we've got a soulmate, or we're wanting a soulmate, or we have this idea or visual of a soulmate being our life partner, our divine counterpart, our twin flame often, and those two can be misconstrued. So for me, a soulmate and my belief system is that it can be anyone whom is part of your spiritual family, who's part of your soul group, who is here on earth and that who is going to be journeying with you. And for me, that could be our siblings, our family, our immediate family, our parents. It can be your caregivers, your extended family. It can be anyone that you are connected with. So family for me is blood as well as chosen family. It could be school teachers. Anyone that's had a really great impact in your upbringing is part of your soul mate and soul family.
Mm. Yeah, and I agree with all those as well. And for my part, it's someone that's you call into your life from your soul contract. You know, you've had this conversation before you both incarnated down here, and that you're going to teach each other great things. Now, we're not really going to go into this, but the dark night of the soul is often backed by a soulmate. You know, that journey you do where you're really starting to clear ego layers and go through what a lot of people consider to be a really tough period of their life. You know, marriage breakdowns, relationship breakdowns, losing loved ones, all those kinds of things, backed by a soulmate. And that's what they're here to do. Their purpose is to make us grow. And growth, I'm getting tingles on that. Growth is rarely, so that's spirit backing us up. Growth is rarely comfortable. And that's the point. You know, when you're a kid growing up, you get growing pains because the bones are growing. But inner growth is the same. It's a painful experience that when with hindsight and experience and wisdom years later that we look back on it and go, well, actually, if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be the person that I've now become. So soulmates are really, really powerful components and people and advocates and teachers in your life, even if you go through the mill, ex-partners or ex-wives, ex-husbands, that kind of thing. It may have been in our period of a life for 3, 4, 5, depending on how long the marriage lasted, all those years, that could have been what initially would have been classed as a bad marriage, But again, years later, looking back on wisdom, going, you know what? They taught me so many amazing things. They were there walking that journey with me to help me understand the person that I am now. So yeah, to me, that's the real powerful side of a soulmate, which is why when we misconstrue what the difference between a twin flame, a soul flame, and a soulmate, and we're looking for love, and we talk, oh, I'm going to call him my soulmate. I'm like, yeah, go for it. Go for it. But the soulmate is normally a step in the direction to call in your twin flame or your soul flame. And don't get me wrong, there are people out there that do stay with their soulmate their whole life.
Absolutely. And that soulmate, as you said, is an impetus for our growth. And much like the Tower card and the Tarot, it's that wake up moment. It's designed, or they're designed to be that charge that wakes you up, that awakens from within you and reminds you of who you truly are and your power. So we always are presented with a decision in life, and our soulmates, part of our journey to do that, our primary caregivers, our soulmates, our parents, or anyone who raised us as children, that was their soul contract, as you spoke of, that was here to give us certain lessons. So whether we had great upbringings or less than great, they were grateful. And, you know, we spoke about, maybe that's something for another podcast, is about those soul contracts that we enter into, and then returning back to Akashic Records to be able to tap into that. But they are here and designed to provide you with those lessons that you chose so that you could grow and experience in this lifetime. That's why we're here on this earth. That's why we're here to have these experiences, because we don't get to journey like that on a soul level. It's peace and beautiful love, expansiveness. So we chose to come here in this earthly carnation, in this divine body, so that we can have these experiences. And we're like, why did I choose that? But there was a reason for that. So, and often when we talk about karmic contracts and also clearing past lives and things, because we're here to journey until we repeat cycles until we learn the cycle, learn the lesson. Cool. Now there's the expansion of your evolution.
Yeah. Fantastic. And it's interesting you spoke about life lessons there and past lives. Life lessons can span multiple lives. And when you call in that life lesson, you call in the same teacher.
Yeah.
So that soulmate has traveled with you in various different lives and may have been horrible in each and every one of them. Well, been a strong teacher in each and every one of them. And then you come to the final life where you, on your soul contract, you choose to actually finally learn the lesson or transcend the lesson. And then again, you call in that soulmate, just in a different body, in a different form, but the lesson gets taught, and then you move on and you're wise, and then you pick another lesson to start and another soulmate.
Absolutely. And they present themselves in different roles. So your father's not always your father. Sometimes you're their father, sometimes your brother, sister, boss. So in various different roles, and that's part of the soul contracts and soul family and their dedication to one another, that we would provide that. And just as we're providing the same lesson to them as they are to us.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and the soul family, like I've said to my son a few times throughout his the years of him becoming an adult, was going, look, I'm the father in this lifetime, because you know, everyone that's got a child over 10 have had moments where they've come out with this deep, profound wisdom that's just completely and utterly put you in your place, or just where you can't argue against because it's a very parental thing that they said, and you're just going, hang on a minute, who's the parent here right now? And they've just probably tuned into something from a previous life where you just need a reminder of it. And it's a beautiful experience. Kids are great teachers as well.
Absolutely. And we even touched on before we started the podcast, as we were like energetically tuning in and going, okay, what was the topic for today? And then this dropped in, and you asked me the question whether animals could also be soulmates.
Yeah. Well, I actually believe that they could. I was touching on the subject because of a beautiful soulmate that's been in your life for the last 16 years, who we recently had to transition back into spirit. So, I wanted to make sure that we could speak about that, because it was literally just under a week ago. Yeah. So, and there'll be a bit of a memorial video at the end of this for those watching on YouTube in memory of the beautiful Baron. And so in regards to that, I'll hand that over to you to speak about pets. And
absolutely. So I believe that pets are also part of our soul family, and soul groups. So, Baron and I, because we've journeyed for the past 16 and a half years together, he was my small doggo, that he has been through many ceremonies and many meditations and many rituals with me during that time as I've been deeply connected. And in tuning into that, he's shown me past lives where we've been together, where he's also been other beings for me to show me my strength or to show me lessons. So it was a really profound moment to really deepen my understanding of soul contracts, commitments, soul family, soul mates, that even in this lifetime, what he's taught me, what he's shown me, and that unconditional love which dogs do, and then what I was able to bring to him and his evolution, and then in our connection, what that means for him passing over, and then what that provides him in the next life. So forgive me, I'm about to get a little bit emotional, as you can tell, because there's so much deep love there for this being. Not only did he choose to come down as my dog in this lifetime, and how we connected, and during that time, how deep our connection was, and how he was my protector and guardian, and not only like as a dog and as dogs can be protected, but also in spirit realm. He showed me so many times how he was my protector in spirit. So like deep gratitude for that soul connection and soul mate that I had in him and that he had in me. So it was a very powerful and beautiful journey. So for my personal experience with him, then yes, animals can absolutely be soulmates. And I've also had the very great privilege of connecting with other passed over pets from other people, and Bezev believed the same thing, and then being able to channel that energy, being able to channel for them what their connection was and what their journey together was. So personally first-hand experience, and then also being able to be that medium for others and their soulmate families. It's been truly special.
Yeah, beautiful journey. And as they say, a dog is not for life. A dog is for multiple lives, not just for Christmas. So just to add on to that, but and I had a dog myself growing up. So I understand that. And then I transitioned into children. So, and they're a bit like dogs, especially boys, they scratch, smell. You get them in a park and throw a ball and they're quite happy,
Awesome.
So, Joel, if you're listening, I'm sure you'll be giving me the middle finger for that one. And that's what I'm saying on. Yeah, with absolute love. He's not that kind of child now. We have a bit of banter going back and forth, and, as you do with your children, once they start getting around 15, 16, and they start to get a bit of banter, a bit of lippy, and they realise that they still haven't got that adult experience in regards to I don't know what's going on there.
That's
my
spirit, right?
yeah, see,
I love how spirit does that.
I don't know what.
There's a countdown going on and going, I think Joel's got your back here, baby.
Something like that. I don't know what's going on. All of a sudden, my smartwatch started going off for no apparent reason. See, that just completely took me away from what I was saying. Maybe Spirit's saying, all right, stop talking.
About your son.
Yeah, about my son. Yeah. He's lovely. He's great. Yeah, I caught up with him today for coffee.
Soulmate. Right? Soulmate.
Soul family.
Another version of.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I feel with my son, actually, he's a bit of chip off the old block. We're very, very similar. Our journey's so intertwined. He could even link into twin flame. As your children can also be on that twin flame level as well, depending on how you are with them and how the relationship is with them, and we're very, very, very similar. Two peas in a pod. We could be brothers almost.
And maybe we're in a past life.
Yeah, quite
Beautiful
likely.
Deep connection.
Yeah. There's definitely past lives where he was dad and I was son. So, he's getting his own back for this lifetime.
Yeah, absolutely.
But quickly going back to just linking into the soul family and with pets. So pay your pets a bit more reverence, because they've traveled with you many times and they've taught you many lessons. And that's what they're here to do. They are here to teach us unconditional love, especially dogs. Cats are here to teach you strong boundaries. It's like, no, I'm going to do what the hell I like, when I like, and you're going to serve me. They got that energy about them. So, it depends if you're a cat person or a dog person. I mean, if you're both, then you're learning both of the lessons at a different level. I mean, me personally, I'm a dog person, so I was so grateful that Aida was a dog person too. Although you did have a cat at one point, didn't you?
I did, and I was going to say every witch does at some stage in their life, because cats actually see through dimensions and realms, and there's a lot of theory on this, and there's also been some like really deep, profound wisdom for deeply intuitive people who have connected and done studies on the level of cats, and everyone's had a cat where they've just gone. And you're like, what are you looking at? Like, it kind of gives you that moment and you get goosebumps. So you know that they see interdimensionally, and cats have that really deep spiritual wisdom. But yeah, they always say that, we keep dogs, but cats keep us. Like we're their owners, where they own us, not the other way around. And if you are so guided, then allow your pet to choose you, because you'll feel that deep connection. And I also have a bird in the background, which was actually Mama's bird. And he's so on point. We call him Pavarotti because he loves to sing, but Tweety, otherwise, he's a yellow canary. But he's so on point in terms of whenever we're doing spiritual work, or whenever we're doing deep meditations, or whenever we're holding ceremony in our beautiful sacred space, he just chimes in so perfectly. So animals are deeply connected to spirit, and allowing them to journey with us is such a gift.
Yeah, see, tingles again. Interestingly enough, like we ran that Calling in the One workshop at the weekend just gone. And it was straight after the shamanic egg cleanse that we did that he then sang, and he just sang and sang and sang as though he was helping the people that came to the workshop to release all that old energy. It was just beautiful, because that's a really powerful process in itself. Is the art of song, or even light language. And in the way that he did it, in the perfect timing that he did it, it was definitely helping the energy release and helping the people that had put this energy into the egg before it got buried out into the ether, saying thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for all the soulmates, essentially, because it was a clearing out of the exes or clearing out of old relationships, and a clearing out of soulmates, so that if any new need to come in, they can come in. But because we was doing a calling in the one, they're starting to prepare to call in the twin flame or a soul flame, depending on which level they're aiming for. So that was a really, really beautiful moment with the yellow canary, Pavarotti. Yeah, beautiful.
Amazing. He is very in tune. Yeah, so good. And then that leads us into other perceptions, and other, like, who else is in part of our soul tribe. So what is a soulmate versus a soul flame, and then a twin flame?
Yeah. So for me, twin flame is a much deeper connection. So for me, sometimes your twin flame can be one of your spirit guides. So if they're not down here, they're one of your guides up there. And they could be a life path guide. So someone who you've had multiple journeys with, may have had long-term relationship, may have been married for your whole life, and had that really deep connection on a really strong love level with deep intimacy. And so they know you intimately. They know your soul contract when you come down. They're always part of it. And they either come down here so you can journey again together and teach you multiple lessons, be a really beautiful mirror for you, be a companion and a friend. Or there could be a guide. On the other thing, there could be an absolute sworn enemy. Your nemesis, your opposite to the coin. And that could also be your twin flame. So yeah, where it's like that adversary that's with you your whole life. Now, it could be, just off the top of my head, you could have like Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo could potentially be twin flames, because they've been nemesis throughout their whole career. Reference? Yeah, that's a football reference. I'm a pom. I've got to get a football reference in somewhere. Everyone apart from you literally in the whole planet know who those two people are. The only person on the planet who doesn't know who Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi is. But they've been like, I don't want to say they've been nemesis, but they've been considered the GOATs, greatest of all times, and you choose one or the other, really. You believe Cristiano is, or you believe Lionel Messi is. Well, I'm a Cristiano man myself. You only have to look at the stats.
Love it. So this is quite interesting, because we actually haven't really discussed what our perception and viewpoints on soul flames or twin flames are. So for me, and my belief system is that your twin flame is the other half of your soul. So they're not here, again, to complete us. But when we come down, we choose to have our soul split, and we can spend our eternity searching for the other half of our soul. So that to me is what a twin flame is. And by the way, it is not all rainbows and unicorns.
Nope.
It is the greatest impetus you will ever have in this lifetime. Like you call a mirror, like they are here to be your biggest growth. They are here to show you what your challenges and what you are here to work on, all your karmic lessons, but they do it from a space of love. So often when we come into the spirit realm or into this earthly realm, I should say, we're choosing these experiences, and when, as we evolve and grow, so do they. And then we search, and then often many people believe that they are journeying with their twin flame, and then they've managed to grow and evolve through the whole course of their lifetime or relationship. And others are like, it's too fiery, it's too much, it's too thing. It is not a hot, passionate weekend that you have with someone. It is, and I've heard twin flames referred to as such, and I'm like, that's the soulmate, my loves. Like if you're having a hot habit affair and it is just like on fire, that is not a twin flame. That is not a soul flame. That is a soulmate. So enjoy if that's what you're into. But yeah, that is a soulmate. It's not your twin flame. The twin flame is here, which I believe to be. And often there's a couple of different belief systems as well, as whether you only get one in all of your lifetimes, in all of your dimensions, or you can have one each lifetime that you incarnate down into. So I'm still feeling into that one. And whenever I go back into my past lives and journey in, I believe that we have one that journeys with us across many lifetimes. So almost like that life guide, life partner.
Life path guide.
And yeah, energy.
Yeah.
Whereas I believe my soul tribe or my spirit guides are separate to my twin flames.
Yeah, so it's good to have
cool, I love
opposing,
it.
not even opposing views. It's good to have different views,
Different,
because
yeah.
whichever one resonates with you, then that's how you perceive your reality and your your esoteric reality, and how you was talking about twin flames create your greatest growth and push you along the way. Again, using the football reference, would Messi be as great as he could have been if it weren't for Ronaldo, and vice versa?
Yeah.
Neither of them pulled each other down. Both of them were completely respectful of each other, but they pushed each other to their absolute greatness. And there was rivalry there, but there wasn't bitter rivalry.
Yeah.
Except when they was on the same pitch together playing for different teams. But
It's competitive nature.
but it's that interesting. So that's why I've looking at that. There's a lot of twin flame energy within that dynamic, and yeah. So, and you can look throughout history. There's been rarely that level of rivalry anywhere in any sport where two people pushed it themselves for 15, 16 years. So yeah, their whole careers they was starting to push each other. And just incredible. And just quickly going back to soulmates and soul family, I also believe soul family is slightly different to soulmates. The soulmate can be part of the soul family, but your soul family might not necessarily or be a soulmate. I know that seems a bit counterintuitive.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Soul group, soul family can be extended and beyond your immediate. So, or those that you're directly interconnected with in this realm. So, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, you can call in a soulmate for a specific purpose who may not be part of your soul family. Yeah.
Let's expand upon soul flames and then have a look at the viewpoint on what they are, because then we can then like go deeper, and then we can hopefully get your feels, like, and let us know what your viewpoint and how we've even opened up your perceptions of soulmate, twin flame, soul flames, because that's how we can like really evolve.
Yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, put some comments. Put your comments below about what you feel a twin flame is, soulmate, soul family. Because some of the things you were describing about twin flame, the split soul, that to me that's soul flame. And because I was initially of your thinking that twin flame was that split, and then I learned about soul flame, and soul flame more fit that description than twin flame.
I think we're just potentially even just swapping the names around rather than like having the same kind of ideas, but just got the names in different positions. So that's cool. Yeah, let's hear about soul flame, babe.
Yeah, well, for me, you almost describe soul flame when you're describing twin flame. So to me, it is that we're part of an energetic flame, and then that, I don't like the word split, but go a separate. How do we describe it?
It's like when a cell is first formed and it does actually split
duplicate.
into two, and then it will duplicate. So it's kind of duplicate gets the energy of appearing out of nowhere, but it comes from you. So then this one single cell splits into two. Split for one
Yeah,
that morphs even.
I know someone will probably put in the comments who's a scientist will know what the term for that is. It meiosis or something like that. Yeah. It's something like that. I know I've got that completely wrong, so don't pull me up on it. But I just know it's something. It's a biological term where a cell splits into two, and there's a term for that. And I don't have my phone on me, so I can't look at that.
Some clever cookie can put it.
Yeah. With a bit of clever editing, I'll just edit over what I just said and use the right word.
I love authenticity.
But yeah, it's that splitting of the one soul flame. So you journey and you can double the experiences, see it from different perspective, almost see it from a different, not earthbound genders, but from the masculine and the feminine. And that's what it is. We've got masculine and feminine energies within us, but then at this high esoteric soul level, we've got that masculine and feminine energy that when we split into the soul flame, one's the stronger feminine side and one's the stronger masculine side. So then we're traveling as creation and nurturer throughout the cosmos and throughout. And I truly believe that when you incarnate down here to Mother Earth, which is this really beautiful theme park of life lessons and growth for the soul, your soul flame always comes down. So your soul flame's never a guide like my perception of your twin flame is. Always down here. Always down here. And there is no force on earth that can stop you coming together. No force on earth.
I love that you've just said that, because when often we're calling in the one or we're trying to find the right partner, whatever's meant for you will never pass you by. Your divine counterpart, your soul flame, your twin flame, whichever term you'd like to use out of those two, resonating with the soul flame, you are going to connect. Nothing will hold you apart, and it will be in the divine timing of how your soul evolution is in this lifetime, how your human evolution expands, how you grow from your human experience and your life lessons. That's what brings you together. So, we come down a path and we go, these lessons, how far is a road from, here to here? Well, that depends on how many bumps along the way or how many diversions you take or what your GPS tells you to go. So do I want to stop along the way for a pit stop or more coffee or whatever it might be? Then that might be your diversions and might take the distance, or you might have a few extra experiences along the way. You're stopping for some fresh air. Then that's what it will take. But if we get diverted and choose to go down a different path and take someone else along the way, or we've got some things we need to learn, then that's the time frame. But it is always perfect timing, and it is always divine timing.
Yeah, you think about how many times we almost crossed paths before we actually met.
Amazing.
Jeez, like I could sense that this beautiful, loving, divine counterpart was close, but I thought it was time frame. When it turned out to be physical location in the same room, probably at the same times, just avoiding each other at certain events. It was just insane how we never met years before we did. But I still had that sense going, I know she's close. And it's like getting a little bit frustrated at times because I couldn't understand why I didn't meet you. And then, but then like you said, divine timing decided to go, right, now it's time. So now, and there it was. There was zero obstacles. There was one event. I went to this event because there was nothing else better to do that night. And there we go. And the rest, as they say, is history. Or our story rather than his story.
Yes,
our story.
Our story.
The rest says our story. And for me, in regards to soul flames, I think you only get one. Whereas you might have 2 or 3 twin flames, just really powerful teachers that span multiple lessons. It's like, it's like your twin flames like so. In short, your soulmate is like a teacher. Your twin flame is like a mentor, and your soul flame is like a guru. Your one and only
Is your
guru.
other half,
Yeah.
without being missing from you, without needing them to fulfill you.
And just like the yin yang, there's always a part of you in them, and there's always a part of them in you, which is why when you come together, they're unmistakable, and you just know. It's that knowing, and it's not this butterflies, weak knees, firework things that Hollywood portrays. It's just a calmness because you've known each other energetically since the beginning of time, beginning of your time. So as much as there's that human level of excitement when you meet and you have that journey where there is human levels of excitement and fun and joy and love and passion and all those things, which are all human emotions, that initial connection isn't gigantic New Year's Eve fireworks. It's just a deep inner knowing going, there you are. I knew I'd bump into you at some point.
Yeah, absolutely. It is that deep sense of knowing. It's the stillness and the calmness that you receive upon meeting them or greeting them. And often they're not who you think, and they come out of nowhere. They literally do come out of nowhere because they are your greatest teacher as well. So there's a great part of where, for me personally, I believe that Roy is, as you call, soul flame, because we met organically. And even though we were doing the work and calling each other in, it happened organically. And yet the growth in that short period of time that we've been journeying together has felt like lifetimes. People meet us and then they assume that we have been together for
Decades,
years.
yeah.
And it's like, that's that beauty. And even when we've grown and developed, we're like, actually, that experience was only a few days ago and it felt like weeks, if not years.
Yeah. I feel a month for us is a year. That's what that's what I truly feel like. What we, our time frame, a month together for us just is like a year for everyone else. Not for everyone else. It's a bit wrong to say that, but that's just how it feels. I don't mean in a bad way either. It's like, God, it feels like I've been with you years. Oh my God. Not in that way. It's just that our time the way we experience time is just different. We do past life regressions and we do all this esoteric stuff. So time for us is an illusion. We do truly believe that, and which means we can transcend it differently. As much as I love my watches and my smartwatch was going off earlier, that's to me is to anchor me into the particular timeline I'm working from, so I know where to go back to when I've gone off traveling. It's all the Merlin stuff.
Indeed. And then speaking of timing, it's like so often you'll meet someone who's like, we were childhood sweethearts and then we both went our separate ways and then we came back together. That was still spirits showing you that you will return. Whatever's meant for you will never pass you by. And by holding on to something that is not meant to be yours or trying to force something, you're only delaying the inevitable. And the inevitable can be good or not so great, right? It could be another lesson. It's either a blessing or a lesson. And I always believe lessons are blessings anyway. So it's just for us to allow the human ego to surrender and trust spirit to guide us. But if this person who was in our childhood is meant to be journeying with us, whatever's meant for you will always come back. We just needed to have some certain experiences for our growth or for what we needed to bring and deliver, or who we needed to bring into the world for those who have had children through that, to bring into this earth and to have those experiences for our soul evolution and growth again. So even you go, we just wasted 30 years being apart. No, my loves, you haven't. You've had all this growth of experience. So when you do come together, that is the match. That is what you're here to do for the next level of your evolution.
Yeah. And what's interesting in our journey is who we were both caring for and who left our lives just as we met. So, children choose us on a soul contract level. We don't choose our children, they choose the parents because they choose who they're going to learn lessons off. So in this lifetime, no children chose you, but Baron did. So, you had a fur baby for 16 years and I had a boy for, I chose the child route. So we both needed to learn the lessons and do this twin flame soul family journey of our pet and my son and and choose that journey. So that's why we weren't together right from the beginning, because we had to do these different journeys. And then once Baron knew you were safe and you were cared for, that's when he decided to go, oh, okay, my job's done now.
Yeah.
And then that gives us the free now, because my son hasn't gone, he's just turned 18, so it's kind of like he's doing his own thing now, and I don't need to, it's a case of I still catch up with him, but it's like, well, you're an adult, I'm here to guide you, but you do most of your journey on your own now. So it means I've now got that freedom and you've now got that freedom, so we can
serve the world.
Serve the world. Yeah, perfect. Couldn't say it any better. Serve the world with the wisdom and the knowledge that we have, and the growth of teaching people about conscious relationships. Just as one thing. This is why we're doing this podcast, but we've got so much more as well. We're both mentors. We're both intuitive energy healers. We're both psychic mediums. We're both shamanic practitioners, and everything else that we do. And we're here to expand that energy within others. And we can do that anywhere around the world now. Hint, hint, for those that are listening. But in all seriousness, we are looking to expand. The world is now a small place with the advent of the internet and the advent of podcasts and things like that. So you can see who we are. And when you tune in and listening, you're tuning in and listening for a reason. And does that, to a certain degree, make us on an interesting level as a potential soulmate for people out there?
Absolutely. Because we then in turn become your mentors. Even when in the moment that you choose in to listen to this, it could just be that quick soulmate energy that you receive, and okay, oh cool, there's picked up something from this and I need it, and you've taken that further on your journey. And if you choose to then stay with us for a time period, even if you're listening to podcasts, if you engage with us one-on-one, or come to our retreats or any of our workshops, or work with us directly, we become that soulmate energy, because we're the mentorship, or our journey becomes more entwined. So anyone we invite in, out of the blue, so to speak, just found it by accident on the internet, or however you come across your mentors, guides through this journey, and who you choose to work with, that is that beautiful entwining of the soul family, soul group, and soul mates that come in.
Yeah, and that's it. And again, it's these little bits of snippets of information. Like, for instance, you could have been chasing soulmates for the last 5-6 years and wondering why you've ended up with a lot of relationships going, oh, God, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? And then it's like that little tweak where going, okay, well, actually, now I'm going to call him a twin flame, or I'm going to call him a soul flame. And then everything changes. And we've done that journey. We've done the journey of, I want to call him a soulmate. I want to call him a soulmate. And then realize what's going on through conscious awareness and through the inner work that we've done. The more inner work you do, the more you're aware of what's actually going on energetically, esoterically, and soul contract wise. And then you're able, and wisdom's always there to be shared. And you can, as soon as you go up to level 2, you can teach someone at level 1. And as soon as you go up to level 3, you can teach someone at level 2. Never be afraid to share that wisdom the minute you've learned it to someone that doesn't know it.
The more you teach, the more you learn. Because every time you share that wisdom and knowledge, your student or whomever you're sharing with is also teaching you, because they receive it in different ways. They want to be educated in different ways. They have a different viewpoint, just like our viewpoint on soulmates. Our soul flames and twin flames was slightly varied. It's like we're learning from each other, and then you'll get to different perceptions, and then we learn from you. So that expansion is, don't be afraid to. The master is always the perpetual student, and an expert's the only one who believes that it's got nothing else to learn. They're the expert in what they feel is. They believe there's nothing else to learn. Whereas a master, and certainly in esoteric terms, is very much always a perpetual student, because the universe is constantly expanding. So must we. And if the moment we feel our cup is full, that we know everything there is to know about something, we've just limited our capacity for growth, limited our capacity of learning, limited our capacity on a soul level. Why would we do that? Like, when you think of it in that way, the universe is constantly expanding, so must we. So don't be afraid to share that knowledge, because you'll learn more. And even if you don't know the whole book, like you said, just share the first chapter, because you'll learn as you grow, and your life experience will teach you more as well.
Yeah, because I remember when I was really starting to get into my psychic medium stuff, and that was starting to open up. I think it was about 2 weeks after I did my first platform that they started getting me to teach others. 2 weeks. and as though I was an expert. And it's just because the way Spirit had taught me to have all the boundaries and the framework in place so that I wasn't getting lots of people talking at the same time. And so I could run the show technically and go, right, yeah, 2 at a time at most, and that's if you're a couple. And even then, you talk 1 at a time. If not, you're out. You know, I spent years as a doorman in England, so I got that energetic going. Now out. And I've actually had to do it a couple of times. Your dad was one. He came in really strong. I'm like, nah, if you're going to be like that with me, you're out. And not long after my mum had passed, she came in and started nagging at me like when she was alive. I'm like, nah, you're out. And you come back down and talk when you can be nice and no nagging. You know, I had nagging in my life, not anymore. And now she does. She comes hangs out when I'm in the kitchen. Yeah, with love, because that, you know, I loved her baking and her cooking and everything. So I know as soon as I go in the kitchen and start cooking and baking and stuff, I know she's around.
But isn't that beautiful how you just shared a moment about being on the doors and at clubs when you were younger and being a doorman or security, whatever you want to call it in this term, in this day and age. Yet that experience has helped him when he became like working in the spiritual realms as a medium, working to bring people in to talk to other people or channel. So that human experience then helps us in the spiritual realm and esoteric realms, and especially as we're channeling. So never be afraid of your experiences and never be, and I choose those words very carefully because I know never I'm telling you what to do. So please don't feel that way, but use those experiences as a way of, you know, they are here for your growth. A human experience of being on a doorman has then been an impetus and a great experience for you to go, okay, Spirit, this is how I'm working with Spirit now. I can use the same analogy.
Well, the same rules, really.
Right.
Your name's not on the list, you're not coming in.
And you can do this this is why we have certain experiences in our life. We connect with different like soulmates in our journey because they're here to teach us different things. So, you know, as we evolve and as we grow and as we connect higher and higher, then they're here. We can use all of these important lessons, jobs, roles, people for experience, and we can use them in other ways. It's very powerful.
Yeah. And in regards to soulmates, if you're still looking back at a bad relationship and you're still thinking it's a bad relationship, look again. Look at what it was really teaching you. Look at how it made you grow. Every bad relationship gives you strength. Bad relationship, it gives you strength. Gives you courage, because at some point you had to have that courage to walk away from it. Absolutely. Teaches you what your boundaries are, what you're willing to accept and what you're willing to no longer accept. So it also teaches you growth. And this is just quickly off the top of my head, these are the things that a strong, rough relationship will teach you.
And I think we even spoke about this maybe in the first one or the second podcast from this season, was that even the narcissist empath relationship. There's 2 sides of the same coin. And I can hear you screaming at me like, what are you talking about? That cannot be so. But my loves, the empath is here to teach the narcissist empathy, sensitivity. And the narcissist is here to teach the empath boundaries, amongst myriads of other things, but very basic level, 2 sides of the same coin. There is no such thing as a hero without a villain. So
Batman and the Joker.
Right? And we keep going bad and good. There's no such thing as good and evil. I mean, look, we can see a lot of evil in the world. It's certain people we're just thinking that's evil, but they too have chosen a path. And maybe we can do a full podcast on just the whole energy of our soul contract, because we always have a choice. We can either be the narcissist or the empath, right? We can be the evil or the good, as my phone just pinged. So then there's that beautiful energy of reinforcement of, you know, that beautiful Cherokee proverb that says, which wolf do you feed, the dark or the light? And my loves, I say you need both, because the dark wolf is teaching you beautiful boundaries. It's teaching you how to stand up for yourself. It's teaching you how to
put yourself first.
Strength, absolutely, resilience. And the white wolf, the peace, the love, the care, the compassion. We need both. So feed both, but that's where that beautiful balance of, as you said, the yin and yang symbol, light and dark and light. So we need both.
Absolutely.
So look to your previous relationships, look to your soul contracts of what is the gold in this? Where's the silver lining in this? And when you learn that lesson, you've transmuted it, you can evolve. This is what we do for a living. This is where we excel. You should tell us a story, show us something, and we're like, here's that beautiful, powerful lesson. Here's the blessing. And then watch your expansion and growth. And you will no longer need to attract that energy into your life.
Yeah, it will help you and show you the way of transcending it. And going, what you're talking about, the dark wolf, the dark wolf and the light wolf. Evil people are capable of many good deeds.
Yeah.
And good people are capable of many bad deeds.
Yeah, every saint has a past and every sinner has a future. And we can choose to hold people at whatever energy we want with them. And if you're holding on to some energy from the past, if someone's done a transgression, and I'm not saying to ignore it, but forgiveness is going to be your greatest freedom because it's only you that is holding on to that energy. And if you can release that, this is on a soulmate level as well, right?
Yeah.
Then you can evolve and grow and flourish.
Yeah, because going on to that soulmate level, you've called them in on your soul contract. You're going to have to keep going around and round and round until you learn the lesson anyway. So it's either you be the victim or the student. And the minute you choose to be the student, and rather than wallowing in the, oh, woe is me, this happened to me, why me? You turn around and say, what is this teaching me? In other words, you're then recognizing that the person who did the transgression, you're recognizing them as the teacher. What was this person teaching me? What was this experience teaching me? In other words, how is this helping me grow? And then you're open to that growth because you're asking the right question.
Yeah, every act is just a reflection of where someone is in that moment. And often we come from a wound. Often we are coming from some sort of trauma, or we're being defensive because we're in survival mode. Yeah, and that's another whole level again. But this is when we often react rather than respond. Yeah. How did we respond to a situation? How did we react to a situation? And that's our moment to shift and change it with a little bit of consciousness and insight. And it's a shit ton of consciousness and insight, actually.
Yeah. Ego reacts, the soul learns. Yeah, definitely. And that part of the journey is transcending the ego, because we don't transcend it. We just take the power away from what we'd given it in the first place, and we just call it back and redirect it into our soul's journey and into our heart and into love, and then we just start seeing things in a completely different light. And then we find it very much easier to recognize soulmates, and then they're not in your life as long. Oh, okay. Oh, I know what you're here for. Oh, this is a lesson, perfect. And then you both thank each other for the lessons and go away with amicable. Yeah. And you may even remain friends for the rest of your life. And then you've got this beautiful soulmate as a friend that just can still teach you things or still be a mirror once in a blue moon.
And it's absolutely okay to not invite that energy back into your life.
Yeah.
If you need to cut someone off and let them go, you're doing that with love and boundaries. But that's the thing with karma. People are like, oh, karma will get them. There's still some form of energy attachment there. That's what we need. Again, not telling you what to do. The moment we release that energy, that's where your peace and healing comes. And may I also say, ego is not a dirty word.
No,
we need to, and I'm actually going to use those words very consciously. We need to balance our ego, because ego's here. It's your human self. It's the reptilian in your mind. Yes, I'm already hearing you people. It is because we are reptilian DNA until we denounce it, and I can teach you how to do that too. So there's that little reptilian brain in us, the amygdala, that is telling you what to do. And it comes from survival because it's trying to keep us safe. So make friends with it. Make love to your beautiful little reptilian brain, letting him know, she know that it's always safe and that you're safe. And the way we do that is visualizing, visaging, coming from a space of love and compassion. It's when we come from the survival, which is what it's trying to do. It's trying to keep you safe and trying to keep you in survival mode. We are no longer being chased by reptilians or saber-toothed tigers and things, right? We're no longer living in caveman and dinosaur, but our DNA, our genetics is telling us that we are. So we need to keep it up to date because we're evolving so rapidly as a human species.
And energetically, especially.
Energetically, as well as this human physical form isn't keeping up so much. So you know, spending that, this is what doing the work is about, keeping that time to like let it know it's safe. And then that's where fear can hold us back, because it doesn't see the safety in your growth, but showing it, allowing it, making love to it, making peace with it, making peace with your past, and showing it there's a new way.
Yeah, and realizing that your past, that's what it was. It's in your past. It's in your past. And in the future, there might be another soulmate. Or if you've done some good work, there might be your twin flame or your soul flame, depending on which version of mine Aida's that you prefer. And the thing is, even if you still think after watching this going, no, I still believe in soulmates, and you call in this beautiful partner, that's good too. Whatever works for you, works for you. We're not here to convince you of a different way. We're just here offering that this is how we've seen the world through our experiences, through our filters. And if you still remain to choose it a different way until the universe or life teaches you to change that filter, you're still doing it right. You're always in the right place at the right time, because it's the only place you can be in. So, you know, if you're trying to call in a twin flame and you've got to go through the soulmate journey beforehand, you're going to call them in, because they are essential to teach you things so that you can call your twin flame in.
This is why not begrudging someone is so important for your journey.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, you can choose the life has its challenges as it is. You can choose to relish those challenges and not make the journey so rough, or you can fight it along the way and resist it along the way and self-sabotage it all along the way, and it just makes it a much more challenging journey.
Absolutely. And just very one quick thing, do not do spiritual bypassing, because that is a whole other trauma response as it is.
That's a whole podcast.
So that's a whole podcast on its own.
Podcast series on its own, that one.
Tune into us if that's something that you're wanting to know more about, because that's a big thing on just bypassing. But learning those lessons. So delicious. Yeah. So hopefully over the last almost hour, we've helped you understand a bit more about soul flames, twin flames, soulmates, soul family, the fact that there can be pets, regardless of whether it's dog, cat, bird, ferret, whatever kind of pet you've got. Horses, cattle if you're a farmer, sheep. Some people keep sheep, some people keep pigs. In their house, the little teacup pigs, I think they're called, or something like that. That they just treat like their own. And if you're in that kind of relationship, treating it like it's one of the family, that's pretty much one of your soul. They are pretty much one of your soulmates, one of your soul family. And so there we shall end episode 3. And so for those that do come across it on YouTube, please leave us a comment about anything you'd like to know on soul flames, or if you feel the calling to go, well, actually, this is my thoughts on twin flames, soul flames, soulmates, whatever. We're always open to comments in the videos that will be up in the next few days. It's still under RoyB the Middleman as well, so it's all that across the board. You want to find me, RoyB the Middleman, and Aida Jasmine is Soulfinity. Links and that are always in the comments, in both in the podcast description and YouTube. So if you want to reach out and find out more, want guidance on your journey, we both do this work. And I have been doing this work I've been doing it for about 30 years. I would say you've been about the same. So, we're not spring chickens at this. And we've been doing it a ridiculous amount of lifetimes too. So we're just doing stuff that we remember. We're on cheat sheet mode these days. Which is why we run these events, so that we can show you how to get the cheat sheets, how to cut through. And again, not bypassing, but how to just move through things really quickly, so that someone has done this before and that can shortcut your experiences and show you those lessons really, really quickly. Do the work as easy as possible. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Well, we'll end with the outro, which I can't remember which button it was. Oh, this is going to be fun. Much love. Oh, mine not having a button, so we do the applause. Right, I might have to add that in somewhere else. Oh well. Anyway, take care, everyone. Speak to you soon.